is that he continues to emphasize that the media is worrying more about the date and process than the substance here, that we should all be focusing on the leaks. That's what the American people should be concerned about.
Right.
And he continues to say that Nunes' visit to the White House was routine and proper. How much of this is just getting lost in the messaging from the White House? Are they being clear about what they know, what they have, and what they can reveal to the American public?
Well, this is highly classified, so you can't reveal it to the American public, and you can't email it to somebody. But what the American people should know is it's a felony to leak classified information to the press. It's a felony to unmask U.S. persons, and it's a felony to illegally target a political opponent. It's not illegal or a felony to allow the chairman of the House Intel Committee to come into and talk to somebody in the National Security Council. So one's a felony, one's a check on a visitation log to bring somebody out.
So he did say he's going to ensure that the documents from the NSC staff will be turned over to Intel communities. Obviously, we're going to have to see how these investigations continue to play out in the House and the Senate. A lot going on. Michael Pregent, thanks for sticking around and thanks for coming on with us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, so much going on. It's Friday. It is a busy Friday in Washington. We've been all over it. It's going to continue with Shepard Smith in just a minute. I'm Sandra Smith. Thanks for joining us.
It's noon on the West Coast, 3 o'clock in Washington, where the town is humming over talk that the former National Security Advisor Mike Flynn is shopping for an immunity deal. And the president says, good idea. So what could General Flynn reveal about Moscow's meddling in our election? I'll talk to the Fox News Sunday anchor Chris Wallace about all of it in moments. Plus, President Trump has offered praise for Russia's Vladimir Putin, but Moscow is not feeling the love. The Kremlin's top spokesman now says Russia's relationship with the United States may be worse now, even than during the Cold War. Let's get to it.
Now, Shepard Smith reporting live from the Fox News Deck.
And first from the Fox News Deck this Friday afternoon, President Trump's former National Security Advisor, General Michael Flynn, says he wants immunity to testify to the congressional and criminal investigations of Russian meddling in our presidential election and possible Team Trump collusion in Russian efforts to hurt Hillary Clinton and help Donald Trump. That's according to the retired general's lawyer. The attorney says Michael Flynn is in talks now to receive immunity from what the lawyer calls unfair prosecution if Flynn agrees to testify before the House and Senate Intelligence Committees. In a statement yesterday, Michael Flynn's attorney wrote, and I quote, General Flynn certainly has a story to tell, and he's very much wants to tell it, should the circumstances permit. The lawyer also wrote, he is now the target of unsubstantiated public demands by Congress or members of Congress and other political critics that he be criminally investigated. No reasonable person who has the benefit of advice from counsel would submit to questioning in such a highly politicized witch hunt environment without assurances against unfair prosecution. President Trump echoed the lawyer's statement this morning on Twitter. The president tweeted, Mike Flynn should ask for immunity in that this is a witch hunt, excuse for big election loss by media and Dems of historic proportion. In other words, the president and Flynn's attorneys say the request for immunity is not an admission of guilt. But that directly contradicts statements from President Trump himself and Michael Flynn himself during the FBI's investigation of Hillary Clinton and her use of the private email server. Here's what Michael Flynn told NBC's Meet the Press back in September, just weeks before our presidential election.
The very last thing that John Podesta just said is no individual too big to jail. That should include people like Hillary Clinton. I mean, 5 people around her have been given immunity, to include her former chief of staff. When you are given immunity, that means that you've probably committed a crime.
You may remember Michael Flynn back in July led chants of lock her up during the Republican convention and called for Hillary Clinton to drop out of the presidential race. Donald Trump also used the immunity issue to attack Secretary Clinton on the campaign trail. Here's what he told supporters at a rally in Florida back in September.